Welcome back to Trading 360. I'm Diane King Hall. Time now for the big three. Three stocks, three charts, and three trades. Kevin Green will take us through the charts, and here to take us through the trades is Joe Tigay, portfolio manager of the Rational Equity Armor Fund. Great to see both of you. Joe, let's start out with your first trade. That's Constellation Energy. Shares up today. Tell us the view here.
Yeah, I think I got three stocks and three trades kind of following the same theme, and I'm optimistic. I really love that last interview you had with your last guest. I'm optimistic about 2025, but it's going to take some good risk management, to say the least. Yesterday was kind of a negative day for the market, but it makes sense. 2024, a good year for the S&P, 20% returns. It makes sense for people looking at the tax implications. Maybe there's going to be a little bit less tax implications in 25. So to hold off on some selling in 24, push it forward to 25, a negative day on the first day of the year, I'm not so worried about, but I'd love to see a positive January. Great rebound today. I want to see this continue. Of course, the jobs number is going to be crucial to that result for the month of January. Now, that said, 2024 was all about AI, the AI drive. And there's really three components for it for me in the AI drive for 2025. And I think that's going to continue and going to be the name of the game. I think we're going to looking out. Now, we know 2024 was all about the hardware, but I think 2025, we're going to be thinking about energy, supplying the power for that hardware. And we're also going to be looking at some software and some data components. So I got three names today: Constellation Energy, Nvidia, and Google, to do all three of those things. For me, like you said, Constellation Energy, they're going to bump today. Big news on the hydrogen subsidies they're going to be getting. So it's kind of a nice send off from President Biden for them. But they're going to be a company they got these utilities, they got these power plants. They're going to be looking to supply the new world of these data centers, which are going to be coming up more and more and more as the year goes on.
All right, Constellation Energy there. Kevin, take us through the chart and tell us what it looks like from your point of view.
Yeah, for a utility company, this stock has done a remarkable job over the last year. At the lows, we were sitting at around $109.44. Today, it's trading at around $250 here. So there has been a bull trend, but we have seen kind of constructive movements to the upside, if you want to say that. We actually had this nice little move to the upside pretty much between March and May, where we saw the stock hitting around $235, came back, consolidated in this channel, broke down, hit the 200-day moving average, bounced higher, and then came back, retested the 200-day moving average back in September, and then we started seeing a rip higher. This is really where the AI theme, small modular nuclear reactor theme really took hold here. And the stock popped to around $288.75, but it has been in a flagging pattern once again. Bullish trend overall, bull flag kind of taking place, consolidation pattern, got fairly close to the 200-day moving average. Now it's really testing the upper end of that channel, which is going to be an area of resistance. Really want to be able to break out above that, get above that 255 level, and then continue to maintain some of this momentum to the upside. And if not, and you do see a breakdown below that 200-day moving average, which is sitting at around $215, the next area of support is going to be $188. That's your point of control for the volume profile. The RSI is actually making higher lows for now, so it does look a little bit bullish and erratic, but it does look bullish. And MACD does appear that it does want to cross the 12 EMA is above the 26 EMA. That's usually the start of another bull run for any stock out there, especially one that has been kind of trading in this manner over the last year. So overall, it's still bullish.
All right, Joe, I like your thesis around Constellation Energy, especially when you think about the power needed to fuel this boom, and especially even when you look at kind of the winners for 2024 and even Vistra, which I'd missed that massive run that it had last year. Final thought on Constellation Energy before we move to your next trade.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. I love the fact that it's taken back its 50-day moving average. It looks to me like a very nice consolidation bull flag too. I'm looking forward to all-time highs. Hopefully we'll get there in 25.
All right, and let's move on to your next trade. Nvidia gaining some more ground today. It was obviously one of the top winners for 2024. Tell us what you're paying attention to here, Joe.
Yeah, another stock that's seen some consolidation lately. This is an interesting name because it dipped down below 130 a couple of weeks ago, and that set up a head and shoulders topping formation. And every trader that looks at these stocks was saying, hey, that's a head and shoulders top. It's an opportunity to short here. Well, what happened was it was a failed move. It dipped right back above 130 after a day. And oftentimes when I see these failed moves, you see fast moves. So I love that it stayed above 130. I love that when it got back down to that previous resist or support, which was broken, that it turned back into support, and it's rallied since then. So this is looking very strong to me, and it looks very good to me. And it's a great sign for the stock market to have Nvidia leading the way, leading the charge again, so we can get a positive January.
And KG, what's your read through when it comes to the chart on Nvidia?
Yeah, it's either going to be a breakout or breakdown for right now. I mean, that consolidation that he's mentioning here has been intact pretty much since October here. We did hit those highs around $152.89, but we have also kind of tested that 127, 128 level, and buyers have been stepping in. And the reason why I say it's either a breakup or breakdown, primary trend obviously for last year has been to the upside, but you do actually have a wedge pattern that is going to take place. And the apex of that wedge is actually going to pretty much converge around the 15th, 16th of January. So that's really where you want to make I see a decision being made for a lot of technicians out there. And the bears just have not been able to knock this name down. But if we do get any type of formal breakdown, it has to be below that $127 level. And then the next area that I'm going to be looking for is $118, which pretty much coincides with the 200-day moving average. RSI actually is making lower lows as well as lower highs. So it actually has been bearish or consolidating for that matter. And the MACD actually did just complete a cross over the last 24, 48 hours here. 12 EMAs above the 26. That is actually bullish. So Diane, right now, I mean, no one's been able to really knock the stock down significantly. The trend is kind of your friend. And until you actually do see a meaningful break below 127, you got to think that this is more of a consolidation before a break higher.
All right, Joe, I'm sending it back to you for your final thought when it comes to Nvidia, especially because, the way the analyst community looks is still the market leader, still expected to dominate. But what's your final thought when it comes to Nvidia as one of your key trades here?
Wholeheartedly agree 100%. The trend is your friend. And as it gets lower, the valuation just gets better. We're talking about, 30-ish PE for a company that's growing, 100%, in their revenue. It's just a phenomenal growth story. So the growth is still there. The PE is high, but given how high their growth is, it actually makes sense if that sounds crazy. So when you get these dips back down to 130, 127, there are buyers ready. There are people ready to buy these dips. So until that narrative changes, I don't think the bull story changes. So yeah, I just think it's going to continue higher, and looking forward to all-time highs again. If there's a good jobs number next year, it'll be there in short order.
Oh. Okay, all right, and let's talk about your final trade, Joe. You've got Alphabet on your list. It hasn't performed as well as many of the other members of the Mag 7, but it still beat the S&P 500 last year. But tell us your view on Alphabet.
Yeah, I love the name. The third component of the AI story is going to be the software. They got off to a slow start, admittedly, on their LLM. They botched their rollout. Everyone was saying that ChatGPT is better. I think they've done a lot better since then. They've had the quantum computing announcement. A lot of people got excited about that. I think that's down the line, but that just shows how powerful the Alphabet company is. They have so many, they have so much resources to deploy here. So they have the most data, in my opinion. They have the best storage of this data, and they are going to be putting it to good use. And that is the name of the game for AI. They will be profiting off of this data because they have the search component, which is their core business. So for me, I think they are best positioned to utilize this new revolution, and I think it's attractively priced here to do so.
All right, Kevin, then let's go take a look at the technicals when it comes to Alphabet.
Yeah, this one's a tough one here, Diane, because it actually has had a decent year if you're still looking at the trend, even though it has been underperforming compared to, say, a Meta or an Nvidia. But the reason why this one's a little bit tough, you have a little bit of a cup and handle pattern that has taken place. We're pretty much forming the handle right now. But the problem that I actually have is that this handle is actually forming a head and shoulders pattern. And we're actually seeing that over the last 3 weeks or so. And we're pretty much testing the neckline here right now, sitting at around $189, $190. So if we actually do get a little bit of a break of that, you might see some sellers actually coming into the name here. That also coincides with the 20-period moving average. And then the real reason why I'm a little bit cautious with this one, just from the technicals, not the narrative, is because that MACD cross at the bottom, every single time over the last year that MACD has crossed in a bearish formation, that 12 EMA below the 26, the stock has revisited the 200-day moving average, every single one of those crosses. So if that trend actually does continue, this head and shoulders pattern breaks down, you break below the 20-day moving average, there does appear that maybe we will see some downside movement, maybe hitting that 169, 170 level on the 200-day moving average, get some buyers to step in, and then try to break higher here. RSI also kind of peaked out in overbought territory, now making lower highs, making lower lows. So it's been a really decent run. It's kind of at an inflection point, either break up higher or break lower here. And unfortunately, from the past setups of this stock, it just seems like things are pointing to a short-term consolidation, short-term pullback before trying to resume the primary trend, which is to the upside.
Joe, does that pattern bother you at all? Any final thought on that?
A short-term pullback would not bother me. It'd be something to look to accumulate at. And yeah, I think we saw that same setup though with Nvidia that I was saying last week. We dipped below that a neckline on a head and shoulders topping formation, and it turned into a trap for some people who got stuck there, and they had to hurry back and buy it. So these things can turn around quickly if there is positive flow in the market. I think the Google will join it too. So I'm optimistic about the market, and I think these names will be leading the way in 25.
All right, that was a last look at Alphabet, Nvidia, and Constellation Energy on the list for Joe Tigay, Rational Equity Armor Fund. Thank you, Joe, and of course, Kevin Green, senior markets correspondent here on the Schwab Network. Thank you both.